What's up, my people? Coming at you again from Madden 26. These are my 1090 rosters. 1090 rosters. Yes, a lot of you guys have been asking me what happened to my rosters, when I'm going to bring them back out. I'm so glad that some of you guys really love my rosters and love my content. I am so thankful for you people. Without you guys, I would not be able to have anything to do. But as y'all know, this is my pride and joy, bringing y'all the best content and gameplay. I want you guys to get the best gameplay, best sliders, best simulation experience ever. So I take the time out of my day to make sure that you guys can have the best experience from these games as I can give you. But also I enjoy it too myself as well. So this is what happened for those of you who are asking. I tried to update the roster that I had previously made, which I made in the preseason. I tried to update it to a current roster, but when I uploaded it, I didn't know that you couldn't upload on top of another upload. So basically what I'm going to have to do from now on, anytime I update my rosters, I'm just going to have to put up a new I'm going to have to upload a new roster up under something named different. So it might have to be like a version 1, version 2, or something like that, because it totally crashed my file, right? And I ended up losing that roster, and I was gonna go back and redo it, but then I said, we're really close to the start of the season. They're gonna update the roster and possibly give us some new face scans and equipment. Now they did give us some new equipment, but they didn't give us no face scans, right? So enough of me rambling. I really thank you guys for the support. I really thank you guys for reaching out. For those of you who love to reach out, it's HoodiePap22 on Twitter or X, or Mr. Santucci. I am very responsive. I am on Twitter. I am very down to earth. I love interacting with you guys. Or you can interact up under these videos, comments, or like, or anything, however you want to do. But I really thank you guys for the support. Now enough of the rambling. Let's get into it. So I've updated a lot of the ratings for all the players. I fixed some positions. A lot of players wasn't in the right position. A lot of teams didn't have enough players in that position. I also fixed a lot of the agility, acceleration, carrying, injuries, speed for a lot of players. And for the receivers, I went down and adjusted the spectacular catch and the catch in traffic to make it more realism and realistic, because a lot of players were catching in traffic that shouldn't be catching in traffic, and a lot of them was doing some animated catches that should not be going on. Also increasing a lot of people's speed on lowering certain speed. Adjusting the ratings pretty much to what I can see from realistic, kind of like realistic, the way they play in real life, honestly. So let's get into it. Now with Caleb Williams, I adjusted his accessories, because they originally had a t-shirt where it just had white sleeves, but he had the blue arm sleeves. Now this is what I recently saw him wear. Of course it doesn't have the t-shirt with the arm sleeve, but this looks pretty good to me as well. If you go through every quarterback, you'll notice acceleration and agility has changed. You will notice awareness has changed. You'll notice ball carrying vision. Break sack, break tackle has changed. Carrying has changed. I've went up on a lot of these scrambling quarterbacks carrying, because I don't understand Madden method. Why would you have scrambling quarterbacks with a 59 carrying, and then those quarterbacks that don't scramble have at least a 60 or 70 carry? It makes no sense, because I'm seeing a lot of fumbles in the game when I run with the quarterback, and that's just ridiculous. You'll see I went up on a lot of the intangibles, like change of direction, juke moves, jumping, as well as play action and The biggest thing that I really adjusted was speed for a lot of players, but the main thing for quarterbacks was throw under pressure. A lot of quarterbacks had a too high throw under pressure because a lot of quarterbacks cannot throw under pressure at all. And dropping this slider will keep you from going against quarterbacks who are just going 25 and 25 no matter what you do. Although there is sliders to fix that, you also want to tweak your rosters to play into your sliders, as I say. And for those who say, oh, it doesn't matter what you do, yes it does, because I really test these things before I don't just come out and say things. I really test them before I do it. I'm not gonna stay too long. I fixed a lot of the quarterbacks throwing styles. I tried to get them as close as realistic from what I've seen. As you can see, the ratings, I went through every player. Some of the players I didn't touch now. But if you notice, like the lower rated receivers, they will have a lower spectacular catch and a lower catch in traffic. Fits a lot of the speed. I didn't really touch linemen too much, but I swapped a lot of the linemen around so you could at least have two at every position. I also moved a lot of the edges and right edges around, but for some reason Madden didn't want to. They had this Sam slot, but on every team there was no Sam linebacker. So what I had to do was come over either to middle linebacker and move a middle linebacker over to Sam, or either I had to go to Will and move a linebacker over. But for some teams they only had like one Will and one Mike. I had to come over and find a smaller defensive end with the linebacker number, and I would just move them to Sam so you could have a Sam. It's just little things like that that would help the roster play better. I also adjusted the lineups so that you will have every player filled out on the roster correctly, and you're not gonna have a 73 player over a 76. So let's get into this roster real quick because I done talked enough. Joe Burrow went down on his ratings a little. It was just slightly intangibles that I pretty much went down on, like agility, acceleration, and things like that. Since Joe Burrow had a leg injury, he has not really been as shifty and as fast as he was. So I just pretty much went down on a lot of his intangibles. Also, these receivers, like I said, I dropped a lot of their catching traffic and spectacular catches. I don't think I really touched the tackle. Pretty much what I did up here with the linemen was just go through and just filled in the positions. I barely touched the defensive ends. Some of them I kind of went up on their speed, or things like that. I fit some of the kicking ratings for some of the kickers, but you guys can pretty much go through and see what the rest of the things that I've done. I'm just gonna walk you through pretty much a little bit of what I did. Josh Allen pretty much was dropped a few of his awareness and his intangibles slightly. I just dropped it slightly. I didn't go crazy. I feel like some stuff was just overpowered and overgas so they could get him to that 99, but like play action went down to 92. I went up on stiff arm and strength a little. I dropped the deep throw to 87 and medium throw to 89. Throwing the pressure to 90, just for realism. And Mitchell Trubisky, he's pretty much a scrambling quarterback. So fixed this scramble. And as you can see, I tweaked a lot of the ratings here. Shedeur Sanders doesn't have a face scan, but I could not go with that face scan that they had. So I just pretty much went with this one. And for those of you who remember having my 2025 roster, all-season roster that I made right before this Madden came out, this is the face scan that I had for him. I know it's not the best, but You have to work with what you have, right? So these are the ratings here. And with Joe Flacco, the reason why I went down on his intangibles, which is what dropped him from 75 to 73, because Joe Flacco is a 40-year-old man. He's not going to be very elusive. He's not going to be very agile. Things like that. So I took away a lot of his scrambling abilities, and I didn't know that taking away scrambling abilities would drop ratings that low. So Madden really does like scrambling quarterbacks. So with me doing that, it dropped them pretty low, honestly. Same thing with Bridgewater, dropped a lot of intangibles. Good to see him back in the league. I'm just gonna kind of float through some of the quarterbacks here. Kyler Murray, I dropped most of his passing under pressure, so that took his ratings down. Same thing here. You'll see I dropped a lot of the quarterbacks awareness, things like that. Getting over to Patrick Mahomes, I pretty much dropped a lot of his intangibles too as well, but he stayed at a 99. I don't know, maybe if you want to just kind of tweak some of his throwing down a little bit, because he has kind of regressed in a year, or maybe it's just the receivers that he have around him. John Anthony Richardson, he was way too high. He was a 73, and basically it was his awareness and throw accuracy, throw deep, throw mid, throw under pressure, and things like that. Dropped a lot of his intangibles for realism. Josh Johnson, another one, I dropped a lot of his intangibles by him being 39, and he's pretty much just stayed a bench quarterback. Zach Wilson as well, dropped his awareness down to 46. Quinn Ewers dropped his down to 50, and a lot of the acceleration. And you'll see I've changed a lot of these players' gear and accessories to try to make it realistic. Adjusted the throwing accuracy. So we're just gonna fly through this real quick so y'all can just get a look at it. Jackson Dart, same thing. Just a lot of his intangibles, but I went up on his. Justin Fields, I went up on his intangibles, but his throwing, I kind of dipped it a little. Same thing here. Malik Willis. Andy Dalton went down on his intangibles. As you can see, he got a 67 speed. I try to keep it realistic for these 37, 38, 39-year-old players. Same thing here. Matthew Stafford went down to 73 speed. Garoppolo 76. Lamar Jackson, I slightly went down on his passing. Slightly. Just pretty much bumped it like I did Josh Allen. Spencer Rattler, so they had a crazy face scan for him, so I just kind of went with this one as close as I could get. This is the closest I could get. And Jalen Miro, same thing. Okay. Alright. So I hope you guys like this content. Aaron Rodgers, I went down on his. You can see 64 speed, 17 agility, 41 acceleration. He looked like a cone out there running around. He looks really slow. Mason Rudolph, same thing. CJ Mill, Graham Mertz. Cam Ward, same thing. And JJ McCarthy, Carson Wentz, and things like that. So if you just go through and pretty much scan the roster, I'm not going to go through all of it because it's going to take too long, and I know you guys really don't like long videos. Went down on Adam Thielen's speed to 83. And there's a lot of things that I kind of just went attention to detail to kind of keep it realistic. Like with the Jets, which is my team. I went down on the catching for a lot of these players. So you'll see like spectacular catch, catching traffic, things like that. I went down on these a lot. Went down on awareness. Went down on the route running with him. Lazar went down on his catching. And kind of, just kind of buff things up as well. So I hope you guys like this roster. Please go download it. It's 1090 roster. 1090 roster. I will go over here so you guys can see it. Where is it at? Where is it at? Okay. Right here. So if you just go over here, 1090 roster, and I got some slider sets coming for you guys pretty soon. I'm still kind of working on the Heisman one right now, and then I'll be coming with the all pro one for you guys. But if you want it, it's 1090 roster, hoodie pack 22. I just put it up. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will be coming at you with more content pretty soon. Peace.